Hello, everybody. Welcome back. We have an amazing guest today. Her name's Deanna. She's one of my really good girlfriends, and she's so freaking smart. She's the founder of the Mindset Tapestry. Welcome.
Thanks for having me. I'm so excited to be here.
We are excited to have you. This has been like a long time coming.
I know. Yes. I've been like texting you being like, you have to be on the pod.
And I love a pod, and I've been wanting to support you. So I'm so excited to be here. I love the other episodes I've listened to and all the guests you've had on. So I'm excited and honored.
Well, I mean, you had a busy couple months. Like you just closed a phenomenal round.
Yeah.
Which is so exciting.
That's huge.
It's huge.
Still processing.
I know. But also like, I mean, I met you like not that long ago, probably like a year and a half ago.
Year and a half.
And then last summer when we started talking, I was like, wow, like this is like, she's going to do big things. And then when you started fundraising, I was like, yes, like this is going to happen. You're going to make it happen. And you did.
I did.
Which is exciting.
It's so exciting. It's something I always knew we would get to this point. Like I always, like even when it was like completely unreasonable to think that way, when I was like teaching and like thinking about this concept and thinking about what this brand could be, I always like, I'm a very future driven person. Like I see the future probably more clearly than I see the present. And so I'm always like, even since I'm a kid, I'm like living in la la land. Like I feel like I'm just like always dreaming. And I like definitely visualized what just occurred the past 6 months, which was like a successful fundraise and like the right investors and the momentum. And it's just really exciting to be on the other side of it. And I'm just so now excited to like build what this will look like in the next 6 months, year, 5 years, 10 years and beyond.
That's incredible. Also, wait, Deanna, if you don't mind, tell us like, how much did you raise? Like, what did that process look like? Also, I think you've just mentioned 6 months, which in this like fundraising market is incredible. Tell us a little bit about it.
Yeah. So I raised $1 million. My pre-seed was $1 million. That was my goal. Actually, a little bit over $1 million is what I've raised.
That's awesome.
Yeah. And have these incredible investors that like I didn't even know them 9 months ago. So I really do believe that the mission of the brand and what we're building, like these are people that like could see the exact vision I see, even though like, you know, it's been a short pilot. We're not like a viral brand to date. Like I created this. Yeah, I created this product that literally was born out of my own life experiences, being a mom, going through postpartum depression, being a teacher, and like seeing how kids as early as 5 like really have this negative self-talk that's just like innate as humans. And then like going through my own mental health journey, and I created this affirmation chart, which is the first ritual of like mirror talk and affirmations, and all rooted in neuroscience. And it was really just like, I feel like it was just like my soul, like creating this thing for my kids, myself, my students. And, you know, I'm a teacher. So like, I didn't like, it's funny when you say like 6 months, like, and this is where Nat, you know, like I get very like it's just very full circle with what I'm building. I really believe that you are in charge of your mindset, and there are just no rules. Like, I don't see that there's any parameters to what I can achieve. I just know what I want and I go for it, and I just know that it's going to happen. And I think that applies to everyone. I was thinking about this the other day. I did raise $1 million pre-seed as a solo founder, female founder, someone who didn't come from the business world, someone who was not number 2 at another startup with no network. Like, there is no reason why I should have done it. And I truly do believe it's because of my mindset that I was able to do it.
Yeah.
That's incredible.
I feel like, well, since I met you, we started connecting about meditation and kind of your journey through that. And I feel like
that's how we bonded.
Yeah, we bonded literally in Trisha's lake house in one of the rooms. We like locked ourselves up there and we're chatting. But also, even like throughout the last couple months, through like different hurdles I've had, I feel like I've always been able to go to you and be like, I need a reset. And like, you're always so positive and also just very routine oriented when it comes to like meditation, like visualizing your future. And I think that's a big part, especially in the startup world, because it is so glamorized that I think people always want to talk about like the hustle and the go, go, go. And people kind of forget about actually taking care of yourself, which is a big part of like what you do on a day to day. And it's so inspirational at the same time because, and it's also very aligned with what you're doing.
Yeah.
So
it's like one and the same.
Yeah. Which like also the chart in itself, I think one, it's aesthetically so beautiful. I think it's so easy to like put it up. I'm excited to like get it for my nephew as he like grows up. But at the same time, I think as adults, it's something that we forget to do too, you know?
Yeah, well, I don't think we were like raised that way. And I think that's like a big part of my mission is like, how could we raise kids in this way that is actually just so innate to them and a ritual that like lives inside of them that they know like when they are dysregulated or need a reset, like you mentioned before, instead of looking outward, instead of looking to social media for validation or calling all their friends and like rehash and like just being in this cycle of repeating all the negativity and dwelling in it, they know they can go inward to a place. Like I know, for example, and like this is hard to explain sometimes because it's not so concrete, but like if I'm having a hard day, because I do so many visualization meditations and I literally see my future self so often, I can go there like this. Like if I'm having a hard day and something terrible happens in my business and I have that perspective. I have that broader perspective of like, this is such a blip and like, look where I'm going. So it like instantly changes my energy and doesn't allow me to stay down here very long. And I think that is what I want to give to kids is like, they don't need to like decompress by like sitting on TikTok, by like doom scrolling for 2 hours to make themselves feel better. Like they have that all inside of them. Maybe we just need to give them this toolkit, which is like, here's how you meditate. Here's how you self-connect. Here's how you look in a mirror and you say positive, like make it so normal to them. Like it's brushing their teeth or brushing their hair or getting ready. Like it's so normal and so integrated into their day. We're doing this at a time when their brain is forming, when their neural pathways are forming, that it's not something they have to like relearn how to do when they're in their 30s, like we are all doing right now. Because as we know, like this is hard work. Like it's so hard. Like it does take discipline and it does take rewiring your brain, which is not an easy thing to do. It can be done. But if we could give kids these tools while they're 4 years old, 5 years old, 6 years old, and it's like so a part of them, it's just like natural.
I love that. I went through a phase where I was very into manifestation and affirmations. And then, you know, I think just like life happens and I got off my routine and I've been trying to find my way back to it. And I so resonate with what you're saying, Deanna, of like visualizing your future self. Like I visualize my future self so often. And I'm like, and then I'm like, okay, I don't know how I'm going to get there, but I'm going to get there somehow. Like it's going to happen and maybe it won't happen exactly. I very much believe in like, it might not happen the exact way that I imagined, but I know that I'll end up at that place, right? Like the universe might have a different path for me, but I'm going to end up at that place.
Yeah. I think too, to what you just said is like when you can visualize that and you could feel the emotions that are associated with being there, it actually is who you just become, even though you might not have reached those milestones you want for yourself yet, but you are that person energetically. And when we talk about like how I raised my pre-seed and how these investors came into my universe, I truly believe that's how it happened. Like if I didn't have the energy that matched theirs to like alignment and what I'm building, confidence to that I can build this. Like if I didn't have that energy level, like they just wouldn't have happened.
It would have worked. Yeah.
So I just really believe in energy and like the frequency. And like I think when things are happening in your life that you're really questioning and really are not aligned with what you want, I think you have to really be real with yourself and ask yourself, well, like, did I attract this? Yeah. Did I bring this into my life? Like, where do I need to work on myself to actually attract things that are more aligned with what I want?
Yeah. No, I agree. And I also think that it's all a journey and a process, right? Like I remember getting into meditation, obviously, like you've met Dom, and that was like my first initial start. And it took me like a while. And I remember, like, I still remember this moment. I was doing one of our meditations and I got so deep into it, I just started sobbing. And I was like,
Those moments.
yeah, I was like, wow, like this is crazy. But I was so in it and I was sobbing. And then, but I could still like visualize like my future self and like ways to get there and get out of like, I was kind of going through it. So I was trying to visualize how to get out of like this negative mindset that I had. And then after that meditation, I was like, wow, like our minds are so powerful.
Mm-hmm.
And then, I mean, obviously life happens. So I would fall off my routine, get back. I'm like starting to get back into it because it does change like how you start your day, like how you end your day, like things like that. But I think there is a power to it. The more you do it, there's certain meditations, obviously, that like I'm gravitated towards. And I mean, I texted you literally 2 days ago. I was like, I just did one of the meditations you sent me and it completely changed my day around. Like even just little things. And I was like, this is what I need to start doing more. Not just to like take care of myself, but also because you do see a difference and like how your day comes about, like how you think of things. Also, for me, it has helped my creative juices just like get fueled more too. And the creativity that I allow in, which I think is also like such a powerful thing.
I feel that. And like when you are able to like be creative, and like I think we are all creators. Like some people are like, I'm not creative. I'm like, you are. You just like for whatever reason you have blockages, like you can't get there.
Right? It. Yeah.
Yeah. And I really like feel what you just said too, because another like way to transmute your energy is literally just by having fun. And I think as humans, like we forget that we're not like, I'm not allowed to have fun. Like I think I operated like that for a long time, especially in the beginning of this business where I was like a drill sergeant. Like I am a very disciplined person. I'm like, I have to do this. Like I have to be doing this many hours a day. And like, I'm a mom. And like, I was so overwhelmed. I like was forgetting to have fun and it was totally stunting my creativity. But when you allow yourself to be like, I was just talking to you before we like started recording about the branding process that I'm going through because we're finally investing in like branding and like
So
a website
exciting.
and all the things I never had capital for. And it's like, it is so fun. Like the way just engaging in that exercise is so much fun. And I'm like, and like, that's putting me on a certain energy level. Like that is raising my vibration. And I do feel like just going through this process is like bringing more in. And it's like, you see it. Like when you're operating on this certain energy level, it's very easy to reflect when you were not. And you see how possibilities and opportunities like really open up. And you're like, okay, that's why that wasn't happening for me. Even though I was hustling so hard and I was like day in, day out, like grinding, there were blockages. Like I energetically was blocking opportunities.
Yeah. I think sometimes I very much catch myself doing that where you want it so badly.
Yes.
That then you get into like a negative mindset versus like
so attached. You're like,
exactly.
You have to stay here. You have to like come to me.
Exactly. And it's like, well, if I just work harder, then, I'm not working hard enough or whatever, and then it'll come. Where like sometimes I think it goes back of like trusting the energy and the process of like, okay, you're doing what needs to be done. But if you hold on so tightly, you're not going to actually call in what needs to be, what you want to happen. I want to get back into meditation and affirmations as a whole. Like I literally used to start my mornings like doing my meditation, having my tea, and then I would do all of my skincare with my affirmations. So I was staring at myself in the mirror.
Habit stacking.
It literally was like, this is how I'm going to start my morning. And then I would go listen to like NPR, make my bed. And that was of like, I'm ready for the day. Like out of bed, started. And I realize now, having not done it for a while, that I think I was in a much better place then. And like just even when it was hard, I could kind of manage it a little bit better because it was constantly talking to yourself of, hey, it's going to be okay. And it's also funny of like when I first started doing it, it was like whispers, right? Like it felt weird talking out loud to yourself where you're like, I am this. And then like after a while, you're like, I am. You feel more confident. And exactly what you said, Deanna, like that confidence just resonates in everything that you do, even if you're not physically there, you're energetically there. And I think that's so
fake it till you make it.
Exactly.
You have to fake it till you make it. I think even in the beginning when I was fundraising, like it's such a sales pitch.
Yeah.
And like innately, like I'm not super salesy. Like it's just like not my disposition. And like what I did to really tap into that is I like created this like alter ego. Like I don't know if you've ever heard of people doing that, but I
Yeah.
created this alter ego. Like she literally has a name. Her name is Serena. And when I took pitches, I was Serena. Like Deanna was gone. I don't even know where she was. And Serena was like this badass bitch that like
Bit obsessed.
closes deals. Like she's just like has this magnetic energy and like uber confidence. And it's funny, like I would get messages from investors after like, you have so much conviction in what you're doing. Like it was really coming across in the pitches. And like, I'll be honest, like after those pitches, like I had to go lay down. Like I was freaking exhausted.
Yeah, you're exhausted.
I did like a whole performance, like, but it works. And then like, I will say like, you're doing it so much. It does just become you. Like now when I get on a pitch or I'm talking about what I'm doing, like I do tap into that. It's not such a conscious effort of like, I have to be Serena, but like maybe sometimes, but like, it's just like, I think my body like recognizes that I can do it. And so it like knows how to slip in. Like it's really just training your body, your mind.
Yeah.
And I think that's what everyone does, whether they're like conscious of it. Like we see these like uber successful people, these people that have like amazing energy and like you're like, how did they get a life like that? Like, what did they do? Like they've come up from nothing, but they've like built this. And I really believe it's like that. Like it's their energy. It's faking it till you make it. It's leading with like intention and love. And like that just like gets attracted back to you.
Yeah. I also think that like, I mean, Vanessa and I have talked about this, like just the comparison that happens in the startup world is insane. And you can fall into those loops so constant that once you start training your brain, it's easier to kind of get out of it, right? Things like that. Everybody's building. There's so many different investors out there that you always see all like the glamorized, like the positivity of what companies are doing, but nobody's really internally involved to the day-to-day, what's going on and things like that. So I think it's so crucial. Have a practice that works for you. But at the same time, another thing Vanessa and I have talked about is it's so easy to just go on social media or wherever and just see companies be so successful. And then all of a sudden they're either not operating anymore and you're like, what happened? And it's like, we got to stop thinking about all these like big things that companies are doing and start focusing on like what we're building, right?
Totally.
I say this to founders all the time, like just because your competitors are at a certain level, it doesn't mean that you have to be there because you're on your own journey, you know? And like with fundraising too, there is no rule book in terms of how to fundraise, what to do. Like each company is so unique that it's just a matter of deep diving in, obviously fundraising as a full-time job, but at the same time, it's like you're on your own journey. Like just because homeboy over here raised 5 million in like 2 months doesn't mean that like you need to be
just graduated, has no experience.
You were so locked in and you were just so focused when you were fundraising.
Like that, I really feel like that needs to be like emphasized, like so locked in. Like it just like was my primary goal. Like I had in my head, like by June, this was closing. Like there was no like, well, I don't close by June. I'll pick it up in the fall. Like, no.
Yeah, it's like it has to get done.
Like, this is closing in June. And like, mind you, like even when I was talking to investors, they were getting earlier deadlines. I was like, this is closing in a month. Are you in or are you out?
Yeah.
And like, that is what moves the process along and like weeds out the ones that aren't the right fit. And then another thing I feel like is really important is like not dwelling on the no's. Like you just have to like pivot. Like you just have to be like, okay, and like move on to the next. Too much time is like focusing on all the people that said no to you or all the questions they asked you that made you feel insecure about your business. Like who cares? Like move on. That's just not the right investor for you.
Yeah.
And I think another thing is like, just like, I didn't know how it was going to happen. Like I didn't know these people. Especially the last one that came in that was like that's our lead, like really contributed to most of the raise. I didn't know him, never even heard of his name. And like, I think you just have to be open to those possibilities.
Yep.
And like, we get so fixed on like, well, this is how it has to happen. And it has to be a VC fund that like, it's going to give me the sexy headlines. And like, this person did it this way. So I have to do it this way. And I have to be like, for me, like one thing, I graduated from DVA and that was my first context of like, what is fundraising? And I was so inspired by like all the like I wasn't fundraising at the time, but I was watching founders who were like pre-revenue fundraising. And I was like, how
incredible.
Do this? Like I've been like running this business for a year and a half and I don't even think I could like get up there and talk about it the way they have. And they don't even have product yet. Like, how is this possible? Really was so inspired, so motivated after that. But I also watched them raise in a completely different way than I raised. And like, I just knew as like a mom, I couldn't do a road show. I also hate events and I hate like doing them. Like I hate being the person that's like, it's not my vibe. I also didn't have the money to like fly around the United States and like be pitching my target consumer who was also an angel investor. Like I just didn't feel like I could do that. And I think about that because if I went that way, I don't think I would have pulled this raise off. But instead, I was so dedicated to like, really, I raised behind the computer. I reached out to like over 500 people. Like it was constant cold outreach and it got pulled off. And I don't know, like I feel like people go into it and they're like, well, I got to do it this way, and this way. It's like not that black and white. It's like way more nuanced. Like you have to do what works for you. I have kids. Like there was just no way I could do it that way. And like, I guess like I just made it work for me. And like, I even had people tell me no one's investing in consumer right now. They're investing only in AI. And I was like,
one more time,
not even listening to that. Why would I even like, what am I doing then? Like, I was just like, okay, that's fine. Like, I feel like we get like wrapped up in these narratives.
Yeah, 100%.
It's so unhelpful.
Yeah, I couldn't agree more. I very much am guilty of that, where like I get wrapped up in the narrative and like I will call Nat and be like, I just saw this or I just heard this. And she's like, okay, so let's remember. And I'm like, I get wrapped up in it because especially I'm like, well, what are the expectations, right? Like, what are my expectations of, yes, where I want to be, but also of like, okay, is that realistic? Is that not? And I think you said this right before. We have to be delusional, right? Yeah. And so it's like, and every time that I've been delusional, things have worked out 10 times better.
Yeah.
And so I totally resonate with that, where it's like, I think I very much am guilty of just getting wrapped in it. And I need to do a better job of getting out of it and realizing of like, okay, where do I want to be? Visualize that. And then, all right, that's where I lock in. That's where we're going. No matter, and like to what you're saying, not holding on so tight that it has to be a certain way of how I get there, but like focused on being open to different possibilities of how I'm going to get to that end goal.
Yes.
Yeah. I think also like I talk about this, like the founder horse blinders that people have on, you have to take them off. I remember when I first started the protein bar company with my sister-in-law, I was like, I say I'm a recovering perfectionist just because of like, I used to be such a perfectionist being a gymnast. And like when I first started the company, I was focused to every detail. And I remember my brother being like, Nat, stop. If you're going to be like this, take a break, step away from your computer. Like it's not helpful. Go on a walk, do something else, clear your head and come back. He's like, those little details do not matter. Like you're just starting off. Like you just got to get off the ground and then you're going to start realizing a bunch of other stuff. And I feel like it didn't start clicking until like after a while. And then I was like, you know what? Like I don't need to focus on every little detail. Like I just need to launch the brand. I need to do this. And I feel like I see that more and more as I'm working with founders too. And it's also the art of like starting to delegate certain things to certain people. Okay, you have a team, let your team handle stuff and learn as you go, right? Because it does not have to be perfect, especially early stage. You just have to get it off the ground and you're going to learn so much more than focusing on every little detail that you're trying to do. Work smart, not hard.
Yeah.
Yeah, which is perfect.
Like just do and then like pivot. Like I feel like that's something I do a lot. And like, it has been messy. Like the past 2 years, like I am changing the name of the brand. Like it was totally not a right fit for the name, like for the brand. I found out when I was fundraising, my first investor was like, you're changing the name, right? And I was like, yeah, like, sure.
Like, of course. I had thought of that already.
Yeah, 100%. What do you think it should be? And so like, I feel like that, like just being open-minded, like I was a teacher, like I was not a marketer, like I didn't have the business experience. I was just like, this is my idea. Like I launched to crickets. I didn't have a social media following. Like I've been building it as I'm building it. And like, it was so far from perfect. Like even now, as we're changing the name and we're ordering more inventory than we've ever ordered. And like, we're selling out again. Like next week, like 2 weeks,
Amazing.
we'll not have product. And I was like, I didn't rebrand yet. So now the next inventory is going to be like the old branding, but the new name. And it's like, it gets to a point where you just got to like say, okay, it'll all work out. Like
literally.
I can't like lose sleep over this. Like it's okay.
It's okay. Also, if it makes you feel any better, like, so my background is all within CPG and I was at PepsiCo and Anheuser-Busch, and they account for that timeline of like either 2 weeks or 3 weeks where you're flushing out between different packaging, like especially if you're doing thematic packaging. And like I would be going to the grocery stores and checking all the packaging.
Wow.
And I was like, this is wrong. And I would send a picture to supply. And I'm like, hey, why is this not flushed out yet? But like, it also taught me of like, okay, if these huge machines that are global companies have this issue and like don't have a fix for it, like, Deanna, you're literally just starting to figure this out. Like, and you're now having these issues, but you're figuring out what works for you. And if a huge global company has that issue, don't be surprised that you have that issue too. And it's totally normal, right? And there's nothing you can do about it. And you move forward because the business is going to continue to grow. Those companies make it work. You're going to make it work.
Yeah. And I think that's something I've learned is like you said, Nat, like it doesn't have to be perfect. Like I think if we could just all look at our businesses, especially in the early stages, like this is actually just an experiment.
Yeah.
It's an experiment. That's all you're doing. You're experimenting. And when you think about life, it's actually all an experiment. Like I kind of like to tell myself that because it kind of takes the pressure off. It's like, well, everyone's just experimenting, seeing what works, seeing what doesn't. Cause I'm also like a perfectionist. Like I'm the oldest daughter. Like I have that in me, but like to let go of that and like give yourself permission to just experiment.
Yeah.
To look at failure as like an opportunity to pivot and be better next time. Like it's just so freeing. And I think it allows you to move differently.
Yeah.
And also energetically too. Like you're kind of flushing the pressure out to be able to allow things to come in different ways.
Hey, Deanna, I feel like obviously this podcast, it was kind of because Nat and I realized there's no hard line between our personal and professional lives. But I feel like what you're doing really speaks to that, where it's like not only did it come from your personal life, but it's something that then you get to go back to. Like your professional life is helping your personal life. It seems at least like, but would love your thoughts on
one in the same. Like it's one in the same. Like I don't know if other founders feel this way, but I feel so personally like what I'm building is just such an extension of me. And like it's almost like a third child. Like I just like birthed this thing and like now I'm taking care of it. I'm raising it. I'm like doing its hair in the morning. Like I just like feels that way. Like I don't know. And it's blurry. I'm raising my little kids while raising this other baby. And like, I don't know how to really do any of it. I'm just like kind of figuring it out. And that's just the path I'm on right now. And I choose to look at it in like a really exciting way. Like I feel like so honored that I get to do this. I feel so lucky. Like I spent a lot of my adulthood like playing small, making decisions out of fear, staying complacent. And like I went through like a really hard time with postpartum depression that like definitely shook me and like had me like it was an existential crisis, if you will. And I remember in those times when I was just like had this newborn and I was going through it, like thinking, please just challenge me, like give me something challenging. Let me find my purpose. Like I want to be creative. Like all the things that I get to do now, I have to remind myself that like 3 years ago, I was like begging the universe for. We just committed to a 3PL. And like to this point,
that's amazing.
Like, but I've been packing every order out of my garage, like insane. And like in the past couple of months, like we just sold, like we're selling out, like it was a lot of orders. Like I was waking up at like 4:30 in the morning, packing up the orders. It's 100 degrees outside. I'm like, no AC. Your brain automatically wants to go to this place of like, this fucking sucks. Like my kids are waking up in an hour. Like I have so
what
much.
am I doing?
And it's like, you kind of have to reframe it and be like, how lucky am I? Like, how lucky am I? Like, this is amazing. I have all these orders and like the business I like couldn't have even conceived of 3 years ago that I begged the universe for. Like, this is like exactly what I asked for.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And like, how cool is that? Like, it's just amazing.
Love
Yeah, it's
that.
incredible.
Also, like being with the 3PL is huge. Like,
Yeah.
I remember like I FaceTimed you once and you were packing orders and I was like, hell yeah, you know? I have a question for you. How has it been building the business with like your kids? Because like your kids are also like, they're small and they're growing. And like, obviously, you started this because of your background and just like your career, but also how has it been being able to like grow this company and have them use the affirmation charts?
It's really special. So the first one I created while my oldest one was 2, and it was like still the pandemic. And I actually got COVID while pregnant with my second. And I was like isolated in my room because we were still doing that whole quarantine thing. And I ordered all the like parts and materials from Amazon and like spent 7 days like hot gluing a magic mirror together. And I remember being like, this is kind of cool, but like, I can't really like do this. Like I can't manufacture. Like I don't know what I'm doing. Like I manufacture in China. Like what? Like what are you doing, Deanna? Like whatever. Like, and I hung it on my like full length mirror. It's still on my full length mirror. And it was like made of felt and like it was looks like a kid made it. And like it sat there and I wound up having my baby a few months later. I wound up going through postpartum and it just like kept staring at me. But before that, like I was using it with my 2-year-old and like seeing how he could like move the parts and like he loved it. Like he loved the connection time with me, especially because I was still teaching then. I work more now than I ever have, but it's like way more flexible. Like I see my kids more now than I think I would if I was teaching. So it's very interesting. But I was like not with him for a big part of the day. He was going to childcare and this was like our special moment together that we could like bond and like talk and like do something together. And like it was just like left this like lasting impression on me. And so like, even though I thought I could never start this business and I thought I never would, like that stayed with me. So then when I went through my own postpartum mental health journey, that was like always in the back of my head. And I feel like a lot of founders feel this way before they actually bring something to life. It's like this nagging feeling. It's like you can't forget about this thing. Like I couldn't live with myself if I wasn't going to go for it. And I remember like I wasn't getting paid from teaching. My husband was like, I think he just got a new job and we had these 2 little kids and like life got really expensive. And there was just no way for me to start this business. And I remember going to my parents and being like, can you give me $2,000? Like, I just want to like get like a patent pending on this thing that I created. And like, that's like the first step. It's like looking back now, like after raising $1 million, it's just so wild to me that was like not that long ago.
Yeah.
That's an incredible story. And I can't like, I am with you on like the nagging where it just like won't let you like I had the idea
You have to follow it.
Yeah. And it's like, if you know it's going to end up being a bigger regret in your life to have never tried it versus like trying and potentially failing, like that's when you know you have to go for it. And that's where I was as well, where it was like, I had the idea. I loved my job at the time. And I was like, that's it. But like, it was funny because similar to you, I was like, that's a fun idea. Like, that's off to the side. Like, I don't know if like that's what I'll do or like if I can even do that. And then fast forward 2.5 years, and it was an idea that just kept nagging me that like I would be in the middle of a meeting and I would have an idea for it. I go, and I had literally a notebook of all the ideas for the company and literally of like how it could look and all the mock-ups I would make of just drawings of like, this is how the platform can look and we can do this and do that. And then to actually build it. And I have to remind myself, even when like right now we're stalled out a little bit because we're waiting for approval from the App Store. And I'm like, oh, I'm so frustrated. And then I have to remember this is like the 4th iteration of the company. And the fact that I built an entire app that now like we're just waiting to provide to the masses like is insane and so far from where we were even a year ago, you know? And so like I really appreciate you saying that because I think it's just like those little reminders that you need sometimes of, okay, this is where you were and look at where you are now.
Yeah. And 100%. I think we like underestimate like how much we can get done in like a short amount. Like every little step you take every day just like compounds. So like don't get overwhelmed by like the big vision. Like just focus on the like daily steps of like getting you there.
Yeah.
But yeah, like even going back to like my kids, like when you asked that question, that I realized I have like such bad ADHD and like I get like on a different tangent.
I do this.
We all do.
But they were like 100% the muse. Yeah, like it's like crazy, like where my brain goes. But they were the muse, they were the inspiration. And then now that I get to build this with them, like it is once again so full circle. Like I look at my oldest son, especially, who's like going into public school, and like I really think he is like naturally like he's an entrepreneur. Like I would be shocked if this kid works for anyone when he's older because he's just so creative. So his brain is totally like not typical. Like he just got diagnosed with ADHD, dyslexia. Like he is like this creative energy source. And he's really like got this engineering brain. Like he's the kid where like I threw my parents a 40th anniversary party and all the flowers came back home with me and all the candles came back home with me. He spent the entire next day decorating our house, making little flower arrangements, putting like, and so serious about it. Like and he's 6 and like, it's just so in him. And I'm like, as I build this company and my mission is for kids to just show up authentically, not lose that part of them.
Yeah.
That society strips from you. And then you end up in your 30s and you're like, wait, who am I? Like, what am I supposed to be doing? Like, I really want that preserved in early childhood and throughout. And that's what I think this tool, the Magic Mirror, does. And other products that we're coming out with, like, that's our goal. That is to just preserve that little tiny weirdo in all of us and like, let that just like love yourself for that. Be that person.
Love that.
You know, like so as I build this, like I always have my kids in mind and like I see them living their life just organically and like they are just like a constant source of inspiration of like what I want to build and like put out in the world.
I love that. Also, it's so amazing that as you're building this, like your kids are part of the journey, you know? Like, and also just a different concept of like, my mom's an entrepreneur, like she has this company, you know, like growing up with parents that worked for themselves and like were so entrepreneurial, like that was just the norm for me. And I feel like it fueled so much creativity that the older I got, it was like, I knew that was my path, you know? And it's so nice to be able to like go to them, even in college. Like I studied business and like half the time I was so lost in class because like I was so confused. I would call my dad. I'm like, this is what I'm learning. And he's like, okay, remember the business that we were part of, this, and this is what you're learning. And I was like,
you needed a real life application.
Yeah. I was like, a 10-minute call with my dad is literally what we were learning for the past like month and a half, you know? But I feel like it's just like how our brains are wired. Like they're different. And I feel like everybody's so different and you get fueled in different ways. But I think it's so amazing that your kids are part of this third baby that you have. And that you find this inspiration the older that they get, right? Because they're also at an age where they speak their mind and they like are creative, like you were saying. So it's nice because then you get all these ideas that closing your raise and also as you're launching different products, like you're going to find so much more inspiration the older that they get and how much they will actually be an impact to the business, you know?
Yeah.
And also it could grow with them. Like for all you know, maybe you're inspired of like, as they're growing up, oh my God, I didn't realize. I'm just thinking of like Dara, right? Where it's like, okay, she was inspired to then create her business. So you just never know. But I agree. My dad's an entrepreneur as well. And I grew up with that. And
I think that's so amazing that you guys had that. Like, I think that's probably why you are where you are today. Like, and that's what I think kids need is like the permission to like, just like models, seeing other people do it. Like I don't think I knew what an entrepreneur was. I don't know if I heard the word till like after college. Like my dad had a very traditional, like I actually grew up in a very traditional home. So like my dad worked on Wall Street. He was like the sole provider. My mom was a stay-at-home mom. And I think now, like when I reflect on my childhood, like I'm a great student. I couldn't do math. I had ADHD. So like in math class, especially, I was just like out in la la land. Like if you talked to me, I probably didn't even respond. Like I was like in a completely different world, really creative, but I didn't think my creativity could translate into a career.
Right.
I was like, well, I can't do math, so I'm never going to make money. I'm I'm just going to, like, I love fashion. Like, I'm going to go into fashion. And I went into fashion and I was like, this really isn't for me. It's not like fulfilling enough. Like, I don't care that much about handbags and shoes. And I'm like working and like flying to LA. And I'm also just like not making money. I'm like, what is this? Like, this isn't feeling aligned. And then I was like, well, I need to be near the beach. Like I can't even live in the city for this like amount of time. Like I need to be near water. And I was like, I guess I'll become a teacher. Like I love kids and like I at least will feel good about the work I'm doing. I won't make a lot of money, but that's kind of my destiny because I'm not good at math anyway. And like, not that smart. Like literally that was the narrative. And like, I think you're right. Like when you show your kids, like, especially I think of my oldest who I know already has this brain. It's like, I'm showing him that there is a different path that like, even when he's in public school and he's seeing the more traditional, like lifestyle, like work careers, and he's seeing this box that's being created for him. Like he also knows that like he doesn't need to be in the box. Like he could create his own box because my mom did that. Like I think that is so important. And I think that's so beautiful that your parents gave that to you because I didn't have that and it was confusing.
You didn't know it was an option.
Literally wasn't an option.
A lot of people don't. Like my best friend growing up, very traditional household. And to the point that like, she also was not, traditionally a good student, but she was really creative and really good with like fashion and putting clothes together. Like I would go to her and I'm like, I don't know how to put these pieces together. And she would do it in 2 seconds.
I love.
But she on the other side, her parents did not give her that, creativity or the opportunity to know that she could go a different path. And I remember my mom is not an entrepreneur, but she did more of the creative side of agency and a PR and whatnot. And so she was like, oh my God, you would be great at doing the merchandising of all of like window
displays. Yeah.
Right. And she's like, and those people get paid money because they're creating these beautiful art pieces with fashion. And I didn't even know that was, like, unless you're exposed to that, you have no idea. And so I think, Deanna, that it's incredible that you've gotten to where you are, not having been exposed to all those things.
Yeah. And I've told you this so many times, like going back to last year, the Deanna I met to the Deanna now, I'm like, holy shit. Just like your business, your mindset, everything, and just the way you show up, like the confidence factor that you have now. I'm like,
I didn't have that. Yeah, I didn't.
But I also think that it's like part of the journey. Like everything was so new, right? You're learning as you go. And then at the same time, you're like, now what? Like you're just figuring it out. And I also think that it has a lot to do with like, you had no other option. Like you set that boundary and you're like, I have no option. I'm going to figure it out. And then you did it.
Yeah. Thank you for saying that. I do feel like this is where like the woo comes out. Like I do feel like I quantum leaped. If life was like a game, I feel like I'm on the next level.
You were like, you're 10x.
Like I feel like I jumped levels. Like that's how it feels. And I do think going back, it is like the energy shift. My energy was not right at that time. I was going through a lot personally. I was stressed. I was like doing a lot of the inner work stuff. And I think it's compounded. I was doing the work. It was just like, it doesn't work like that either. Like to shift your energy, and not to say that I'm perfect now. I'm not. Like I have to like, it's something you continuously work on. It's not.
Life isn't linear,
Yeah. And it's not, like, even if you are meditating, doing all these like neuroscience practices, it's a discipline. It's not like a magic button. Feels magical at times, but it's not a magic button. And so like, I think it took time for it to compound. And I'm just like, I feel like it also becomes like sometimes I'm like, do I have an addiction to it? Like it's weird. Like I feel like the way I used to crave like going out and drinking or like watching reality TV to cope, Like I'll find myself midday and be like, I need to meditate. Like all I want to do is meditate. Like all I want to do is go there. Like, you know what I mean? Like it's,
But that's a good habit to have.
Yeah, that's an amazing habit.
Incredible.
Yeah, because I think when you are like, you become obsessed with seeing this like future stuff.
Yeah.
It's like fun to like see your future self and all the things you've done. It's like watching them. I explain it to my kids because I'm teaching them how to manifest. I'm like, it's this movie in your mind. Like you get to create the movie. Like how fun is that?
It's incredible.
So much fun.
I love it. Wait, Deanna, I know that we're almost at time, but we always ask everyone this one question just before wrapping up. And so obviously the podcast is called No Hard Lines. Where do you find in your life? Obviously, we've talked a lot about how it kind of is one and the same. So I guess where do you find in your life having the hardest time drawing that line, if there's a line at all? It seems like there might not be.
Like a line where I truly separate the 2?
Mm-hmm. If you try at all. And you don't have to. I think this is a great example of like, there is no hard line.
Yeah, there's no hard line. There's no hard line. There's no hard line. I'm really trying to like rack my brain here. I really think there are no hard lines.
Yeah.
How do you have hard lines? Like, how do you do that? I don't know.
I've never been able to understand it. Even when I was in the corporate world and people were like,
I've never.
Yeah, I never understood
Everything
it.
just meshes, I feel.
Yeah, no.
It's all the same.
I work with my family. Everything's so intertwined with us, you know? There is no hard line for me.
There are no hard lines, and I would even like dare to say that like I don't want any hard lines.
Right. Same.
Yeah.
When I was a teacher, it was really nice to leave my work there in the classroom. And it did feel very separate. It felt like I had a different life at home than I did in the classroom. Building the mindset tapestry, there are no hard lines. And like, actually, I love that. And I think that's because it feels aligned, right? If your work is aligned with your life and who you are, it is blurry. It's one and the same. There are no hard lines. And I think that's like maybe a good sign that you're like on the right path.
I love it. And then also, where can people find you?
Yes.
Yes. So you can find us at The Mindset Tapestry on Instagram. You can find us at themindsettapestry.co is our website, at The Mindset Mama on TikTok. I actually am probably the most active on TikTok, but I just
You are, and your content has been popping off. It's so you're just yourself. Like I feel like I'm on FaceTime with you when you chat.
That's another journey though. Like I will say, it's another, I actually, going back to the experiment, I just said this to another founder. I look at TikTok as a straight up experiment. Like I'll put anything on TikTok and just like see what happens. Whereas with Instagram, I'm like, we got to be more polished. I can't just show up.
About that.
Yeah. With TikTok, I find it really amazing to just be myself, see what happens. I was just telling another founder that I fundraised on TikTok. Like that was fun. And I was sliding into investors' DMs on TikTok. I was getting so many more responses than I would on LinkedIn or like cold email.
Yep.
And it was cool because they could go on my TikTok then, which they naturally did when I messaged them. And then like they saw like the real me. Like they saw, I didn't have to like put on a front. It was really like, I like recommend that everyone fundraises on TikTok. It was like actually fun and different.
I mean, it's a journey, but we're here for the journey.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Well, thank you so much for coming on the pod. We love this conversation and we adore you so much.
Oh my God, this was so much fun. It was really great to catch up.
Yeah.
And I'm so honored that you had me on.
Of course. So proud of you and keep crushing it. Everybody should go, if you have a nephew, niece, cousins, friends with kids, or if you have kids, go buy a mindset coach.
Thank you so much.
And this isn't like a reactive, like a lot of people think like the magic mirror is for kids who are like shy, not confident. Like this is a preventative tool. It's for everyone. It's for every single kid. It's not for like, if you feel like your kid, like, of course it's great for the shy kids. Like I look at like my son who was like inspired me to make it. And it was because of that reason. I wanted him to feel confident and I want him to love himself, but it's really for every single kid because it's a human thing. And we all need that extra nurturing when it comes to like our self-connection and self-love. So
thank you so much. Bye, everyone.
Bye, guys.